Welcome to the Dixie Doggers podcast. We're here to share knowledge and heritage. We hope y'all enjoy. Southern Cross. It's the best cut gear in the business. We run it on our dogs. Hit up Dave Williams at Southern Cross Cut Gear. Go to www.hogdoggear.com. If you're looking for Brahma and Brahma Cross cattle, Marc Rankin with the Rankin Ranch 38 Cattle Company, he specializes in them. He is the man for the job. He's based out of Oglethorpe County, Georgia, and you can contact him at 407-832-2077.
If you're buying or selling land, farms, or hunting property, these folks know land. Phil Wilson with UC Hunting Properties, 678-791-3483.
The time to listen and embrace other cultures. It's fascinating.
Yes.
So for them, that's what it is. That's what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty cool, man. Y'all boys are getting across the world here.
Yeah, and like I said, we've had where we were in so many different countries, but when you have somebody contact you from, like, this guy's originally from the U.S. and his name's Sebastian. He's an anthropologist, and he has no dog hunting background, none of that. And he started listening to the podcast a while back, and he was like, he really started studying on this stuff, and he's talked to Mr. Raymond about dogs and stuff, and then once he gets done with his tenure where he's in Africa, he's gonna he wants to come hunt with us and things like that. And I was like, man, it's just so wild at where this thing is starting to take us, really, and where it has taken us, and all the people we've got to meet. And like I said, dude's in Africa, and he's sitting down, and we got a whole village out there listening to Dixie Doggers podcast in Kenya.
That right there, that's you can't beat that.
No. And he said they've got. He said they actually had, because we had a story where the Prince of Malaysia had got some plot hounds through another guy. Well, a couple of them wound up was ours, and we had sent them out, and everybody thought it was a joke because we were talking about our dogs not treeing monkeys. And and that's what he was like. He said, I remember y'all talking about that. He said, but these guys have dogs who strictly tree monkeys. He said, I'm going to try to get y'all some video. I said, bro, like, if you can, that'll be the coolest thing in the world.
Man, that would be cool. That would be cool to see.
I said, man, you send me some of that video. And I'm going to juice it up. I'm going to be like, yeah, we were down in South Alabama the other day.
Yeah. That'd be good right there.
Well, Reese, we done the first part, man. All we did was really just, kind of introduce and just talk about life.
Yeah. Yep.
And I know that there's way more to you than just that part there. You're very, very serious on your dogs.
Yeah.
And as far as dogs and healthcare, breedings, kennels, the whole 9 yards. So I figure on this one, that's what you want to discuss some on that. Yeah,
I'm good with that, man. Whatever y'all, wherever you want to go with it, and whatever. Picks your interest the most. And
well, right now, the hot topic, I guess, would be probably worming dogs or deworming.
Yeah, dewormer, and
we got to say dewormer now. I've done got corrected on that.
Yeah. Well, you know what, dude, y'all are the reason I just said dewormer.
Yeah.
Because I say wormer.
Yeah.
But that flea and tick medication.
Yes.
And another hot topic during this time of the year is puppies.
Yeah.
There's a lot of litters.
Let's roll into all that. Nate's already got us recording on here, so man, you can kick it off on whatever you want. Everybody out there listening, if y'all hadn't figured it out yet, this is Mr. Reece Baker. We got him back on part 2 of this.
Hello.
And so we're gonna see if we can't pick his brain and get some good quality information out of it.
Yes, sir.
All right. So whatever you want to start with, you can just kind of lay it out there and just run with it, Reese.
Okay, buddy. Well, so before you get hot into the summer, you're still in spring, late spring, and before the mosquitoes, really start to kick in.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, what I like to do is, I don't know if y'all guys have ever heard of the Spartan mosquito eradicators, the tubes that you hang.
No.
No, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah.
I'm
So
gonna write that down.
Spartan.
No, that's good. Are they? Where do you get them at?
you can get them at Southern States is usually where I get mine. I think Tractor Supply carries them too. Maybe even Home Depot or Lowe's or something like that.
Okay.
But also you can order them on Amazon.
Yeah.
And so anyway, that's what I start out with. Because it's said that you need to hang them before the mosquitoes show up.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the first part of when I start beginning to prepare, my hounds for the summer. And I don't. And my next thing to do after that is my vinegar and their water buckets. And I usually don't really start that until I start seeing mosquitoes, even though the vinegar it's good for their hygiene, their dental care.
Yeah.
It's good for digestion, and it's got minerals in it. And also germs and bacteria. They don't like acidic environments. So, if you got that vinegar in that water, you got less of a chance for them to develop any kind of germs or bacteria or anything like that. It's stuff like leptospirosis as well.
Yeah.
And lepto will kill a dog, and generally they get that from rodents, rats, mice, and some other, animals and stuff. But so I start with my vinegar, and the main thing for me to keep the mosquito population down, and everybody knows that mosquitoes are what causes heartworms, So since I started using those eradicator tubes, the mosquito population in and around my kennel area has dramatically dropped since I started that. And then, when I know you've seen the little larvae, squiggly larvae that's sitting in water.
That's right.
Well, that ain't nothing but mosquitoes. And most people know that, or should know that anyway. But got that cap full of vinegar in there, or a tablespoon of vinegar, they're not going to lay eggs in that water. I've done it. I started doing that years ago, and it was just something I couldn't figure out because we were overran with mosquitoes.
Oh yeah, they get bad.
Yeah, and a lot of guys do the bleach thing. They'll do a cap full of bleach, and that's tried and true, and it's been around, since the beginning of time. Since guys have been using the bleach, but I found a better way with the vinegar because it's got some healthy benefits to it, and it's it's going to help keep the algae down and buckets too. But so go ahead.
No, I said that's good there. I mean,
yeah,
I've never, as far as I can remember, I don't know that I've ever used vinegar in the water bucket. Now we've done the bleach and a little piece of copper pipe and stuff like that to help with algae,
right,
and certain things. And I've often wondered that. I was like, well, this, how good is this for the dogs as far as long-term health effects?
It's not. I mean, we did it too. And well as I do, old habits die hard.
Oh yes, they do.
Especially when it's a tried and true method. But copper is toxic for dogs. A lot of people don't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But I found that out some years ago. But also over time, bleach can erode a dog's digestive tract or esophagus. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
And that it's not always the case, and it's not always likely, but there's a chance.
Yeah. And that's that. Let's put emphasis on that too, Reese, because there's going to be some people that's going to be like, "Oh, it don't happen." Look, we're talking about something that could potentially happen. Does not mean that it's prevalent, and all your dogs are going to, their digestive tracts are going to get eroded out from bleach, because that's not what that means. But at the same time, you can't tell me that you, in good conscience, have poured bleach in that water and thought, like, is this really going to be okay? Like, for how long?
Right.
Because I have, and I've done it for 40 years.
Well, right. I mean, we used to do it too. I come from an old line of houndsmen. I'm talking about, we burnt motor oil and
that's it.
sulfur mixed up, when they got mange, and
that's it.
It worked. But I mean, but now that we know better, how and we got better things, better options.
Better things, yeah.
Yeah, science and technology, things have changed, and we got better options. So I still got some burnt motor oil down there at the Eagles kennels right now. Hadn't touched it. It's just been sitting there for years.
That's right.
And we did the bleach, and I don't have anything against it. I just found a better method.
Yeah, it's honestly, it sounds better. Like I said, it really does.
Yeah,
and that's something I'm going to look into that. Me and Nate's going to look into that too.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It ain't nothing to it. Just get you some white distilled vinegar. Get you a tablespoon measure, and you can put it in anything from 10 quarts up to a 5-gallon bucket. If you got 5-gallon bucket filled all the way up, I'd do 2 tablespoons and just kind of twirl it around in there a little bit, and there won't be no mosquito larvae in there ever, and until that vinegar gets down low. And the thing about it is, mosquito larvae won't hurt dogs. That won't cause heartworms. It won't hurt them at all. What causes the heartworms is when they bite them. The thing about it is, my thing is, if the mosquitoes don't have a place to lay eggs and reproduce, then there's going to be a lot less of them around.
Oh yeah.
Therefore, that's going to cut down on their chances of getting heartworms. Even though I'm already administering a ivermectin, for heartworm prevention monthly, but that's just to double down on everything, On
that ivermectin, and I mean, I've used it, my God, since forever. And I had a young man call me this morning, real early, and I'm going to roll this by you, and you tell me if I told him even close. He had a dog, and yesterday evening or last night, he was giving it some. He didn't set the ring on it. It's the paste, Oh,
the paste, yeah.
Yeah, and it skeeted a lot of it in there, and the dog swallowed it right off real easy, And man, he woke up this morning. Says dog. He said he acts like he can't see. He's wobbly, and I said, well, I said, I'll be honest with you. I said I've had. And I've seen it to where it kind of made him drunk.
Yeah. Well, it's a neurotoxin.
Okay. Well, and that's what I told him. I said, but listen, man, I said, if there's anything at all that you don't feel safe with, I said, take that dog to the vet. Don't just take my word for it. But I just, I guess it's kind of a little more confirmation for myself from somebody like you too. Is like, have you had to deal with that? Over the years, I didn't know if you'd seen it in pups or had to deal with it at all, where if you give them a little bit too much,
I haven't personally, no.
Okay.
But I've heard of guys overdosing with valvazine.
Yes.
And dogs going blind, completely blind.
Wow.
And I think it's pretty tough to really overdose them on ivermectin, unless you give them, you give them a massive amount.
Yeah, and I think that like this was a complete accident, and
absolutely.
And that's when he called this morning. He's like, "Man, what do I need to do?" I was like, "Well, if I could see the dog, it'd be a little different. Of course, he was in Texas, and so I was just, I tried to tell him the best I could, but at the same time, when you get people that start calling you like that and asking you these questions, you want to be honest with them. And you want to tell them that at the same time, if something does go wrong and you're not 100% correct, is the blame
Right.
going to fall back on you? You know, it's
Exactly.
like, man.
Exactly. Well, see, and that I had a conversation with a guy yesterday. Well, see, I think I don't know about the charcoal, feeding the charcoal to absorb, but I don't know if it was, too late by that time. But anyway, the guy I talked to yesterday, he was asking me about he thought his dog had heartworms, and I said, obviously you don't want to dose them a heartworm preventative if they got heartworms. You can kill them. Because if you kill all them adult heartworms in there all at one time, that's going to cause them to have congestive heart failure. So, and I told him, I can't tell you in this situation right here. I mean, you could try a slow kill method, but what I would do is take him to the vet and see what state. That's what we were talking about, doing I said he could try a slow kill. I said, but I wouldn't recommend it until you got him tested and see what the vet told you.
Yes.
And I said, that's given that you've got a vet that's not trying to make some money off of you, that's willing to help you figure out a cheaper way to do it. And the thing about it, if the heartworms are bad when they're well into adult stage, I mean, that slow kill, it takes a while and they can still be doing some damage.
Yeah.
But also, if you do the method that they use at the vet, that's hard on a dog. And they can't do any extensive exercise or strenuous exercise for at least I don't know how many months, or maybe even a year. I don't know.
It's a while.
Yeah, it's basically almost like chemo. I mean, they inject them with arsenic, I believe.
I don't know.
I believe it's arsenic.
But I mean,
it's just mine. I don't know if it's Reese. Reese, can you hear Nate's mic pretty good? Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Say something, Nate.
Nate.
I don't even know.
You were talking. You said it's basically like chemo.
Yeah, it's basically like chemo. I believe that it's like arsenic based. I want to say it's arsenic based. Okay. I had talked with a vet about doing a slow kill method, and he was talking basically doing like a 6-month treatment plan, and the only thing that he said different was adding in prednisone as an anti-inflammatory to help with some of those things. And but I mean, it's hard for people to get prednisone. It's hard enough to get doxycycline at times, much less prednisone.
Well, a lot of times you can't get any of that medication unless you got to hook up somewhere or you get your dogs get an exam.
Yep.
Let's see, what is it melarsamine or something like that they use? Maybe.
I believe so.
I don't know.
Something like that.
I was going to say, Nate can pull that up and check and see what it is. But either way, like you said, it's when you do it like that, your dog's going to be down for most of the year, if not all year.
Right. And see, if you got a dog that's older,
oh man,
it's killing a lot of time. You're killing a lot of time. You're not going to get a whole lot out of him, except you might be able to breed him. That's what I told him.
Yeah.
He said it was a dog that he got back from a guy that was the last of his blood. And I said, you look into the slow kill method, but you'd probably do better just to get him bred.
Yeah. Try to breed him up while you can.
Yeah. While you got your blood. And he said he was only 6 years old. Like, dang,
I had one that was 6 years old, and he just, man, he wouldn't hold weight. You could tell that's what it was. Like you just look at him like, man, I know this is what it is. And so that's what I did. I was like, well, I'm just going to do this. I said, and just, cross my fingers and see. And I'll be honest with you, it took 2 full years for that dog to really bounce off the walls of the kennel again.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 full years. And he hasn't hunted in 3 years. This will be the 3rd full year. And I'm going to put him back in. I'm going to let another guy take and hunt him because he's going to walk hunt a lot. And so it's not going to be super strenuous on him. And we're just going to give him a shot. Like I'd rather him go out with a bang than laying in the kennel.
Right, absolutely, man.
I hate to be like that, but at the same time, if you're a dog man, you understand what I'm saying. Because that son of a gun's put more meat on the tailgate than everything that we've got combined.
Yeah. And when you got one like that,
yeah, you gonna look at him every day, man.
No, man, you're gonna try to honor his who he is and what he did for you. You know.
Well, I tell you what, man, he was out there the other day, and I put him out on the chain spot. I was like, because he's doing really good.
Yeah,
he's doing well enough. He got out of his kennel and went back there to the hog pen and had him a rodeo. I was like, well, oh boy, I guess you're feeling it. So we're gonna we'll let him run it out. And hey, if he makes it a year or two, great. You know, if he makes it a hunt or two, hey, great. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna let him go with his boots on. Did you find that?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's malarsamine.
Oh, it is malarsamine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what the vets use, isn't it?
Yes.
Or is that the stuff that you use? I can't remember honestly, because I'm just real funny about trying stuff.
We'll be back after a quick break.
A quick thanks to supporters of the Dixie Doggers podcast: Southern Cross Cut Gear, UC Hunting Properties, Rankin Ranch 38 Cattle Company, Animal Housing Solutions, Boars N Broads, Ada Y Transport, Crockett Taxidermy and Processing.
That I've never done. I mean, I will, eventually try something like that. But so, as far as for heartworms, that's just, I do everything I can to try to prevent them, as far, so far I've not had any test positive for heartworms.
That's good. That's really good, especially here in the Southeast. I mean, that's hard. All types of worms are prevalent. We talk to people all the time, and they're like, "Well, man, we don't have to deworm our dogs, but every 3 months." I was like, "We got to do ours every 3 weeks, brother. Like it don't matter."
Yeah, that's what I give mine, the worm out tablet. It's a every 3 month tablet.
Yeah,
and then I do the ivermectin once a month. And sometimes I'll come in and hit them with some parental.
Yeah.
In between that, just to follow up, in case there might be some hooks or roundworms, hanging around or something.
Yeah. Because they'll build an immunity over time. And if you swap it up like you're talking about, or add and subtract here and there, just kind of shock that system a little bit, it really does help.
Right. And see, that's why I don't do the parental. I don't do it often.
Yeah.
And that way they can't really build a resistance to it, I know they did. That hooks got real bad about 4 or 5 years ago. Real bad.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't matter what I did. They were still showing up. And the vet gave me some, I think the bourbon tail, something like that.
Yeah.
A bourbon, I don't know how you pronounce it.
They got so many names. Man, I can't keep up with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just know when I first started out messing with a lot of dogs, the guys told me, said, you got to have fenbendazole, ivermectin, parental pomoate, and praziquantel. They said, if you keep all those, all those together, you can take care of everything.
That's right. That's going to be your all wormer right there.
Yeah.
The fenbendazole and the praziquantel that right there will knock hooks and rounds out. Them two together in combination is an all wormer.
Yeah.
Fenbendazole also treats giardia. I didn't know that. For a while.
I was going to say, we were talking about that. What was it day before yesterday? We were talking about that. Did you
talk about the fenbendazole?
Yeah. It also treats giardia. I didn't know that for a long time.
And so, well, now, and there's different medications in that I think, what is it? Albendazole is the main, and then you got the family with fenbendazole, oxybendazole.
Oxybendazole, yeah.
Yep, oxybendazole is what's in the worm out tablets that I use.
That was one of the main ingredients in the ones that we were getting, the Ranvet, Australian 3-month wormer. It was
the worm out tablet.
Yeah, that's it. The big, is it the pink ones?
The ones I get,
it's probably the same
blue.
thing. It's about the same. I guarantee it's about the same thing.
Made by Better Farm.
Man, I don't know. I really don't. We got these from a guy who runs fox hounds. Yeah, and that's he got us started on them. That's the ones that go around the fox pens, and or a lot of deer doggers and stuff. A lot of those guys use them because they got a lot of dogs, and it's they're not super expensive, but they work really good.
Yeah, they're cost effective. That's why I'm gonna tell you something, man. Years ago, you had to buy this, and this just to make an all wormer. You never could find something, one thing. No. And like, damn. And so, finally they started coming out with a worm tablet that would treat all. Mm-hmm. And see that worm out, you can get a bottle of that of 20 for what, $22?
We were getting a bottle of 100, and I think with shipping and everything, it was like $2.60. So we were less than $3 $2.50 a pill. Or something like that. Like it's really, and it treats up to a 55 pound dog or something like that.
The ones that I have, they got a small, medium, and a large.
Okay.
And
we were getting mediums, a large, I think maybe.
The mediums treat 22 up to 22 pounds to 44 pounds, and then the large treats from 44 to 88, and it's an every 3 month, and the place out now. I don't know if y'all were getting it at Pet's Mega Store or not.
No, we got these from a place in Australia.
This is in Australia.
So same thing. It's Australia. Okay, it's got to be the same.
It could be a different place.
That's what I say. It's got to be the same basis. We just got it from a different store.
Right.
Is what I'm thinking.
Well, the ones I'm getting, you get the 90 tablets. You get 90 count for I think $92 or $93.
Yeah. Hell, that's even cheaper than what we were getting,
Yeah. And there's a place in Canada you can get, some of the same stuff. We used to get a
lot of stuff out of Canada years ago. Like, I could get anything I wanted, racehorsemeds.com, I'd go in there and get whatever I needed, brother. And we can't, I don't know if you could do much of it anymore, but the last time I tried to get anything, I couldn't really get it. So. Yeah, I was getting them big bottles of Dex, all kind of stuff. Like we were the vet superstore here by ourselves. But talking about that, like the all wormer stuff, man. We used to take and we'd go get all our ingredients, say Tractor Supply or wherever, and when the best thing to do when we were using like the tubes is squirt all that stuff out and mix it. And put it in a separate container because, like, that stuff it's not evenly distributed through that tube.
Well, see, here's that's what I was getting ready to get to. Mm-hmm. Now, I know the guys mix up ivermectin and parental and other medications and all into one liquid. Mm-hmm. I don't like that for myself.
Oh, I don't either.
Because you don't know I don't care how much you shake it up.
Yeah.
You don't know how much ivermectin you might be drawing up. Mm-hmm. Or any of the other medication. If if you need that fenbendazole in there and you ain't shooting enough and you ain't drawing up enough of it, you can actually be making those parasites become resistant to the medication because it ain't killing them, but they're absorbing it.
Mm-hmm. They're just making them stronger.
That's it. And, I try to tell some of these guys that ask questions about it, make sure that you are dosing the proper amount.
Yep.
And, another thing is you don't want to overdose them. You don't know how much ivermectin you're drawing in there if you're not drawing enough or too much,
I tell you something that I've learned is that in certain instances like that, it takes more of one thing than it does the other. Say, what was it, Nate, we were looking at? Was it the parental pomoate or one of them? Like we thought it was supposed to be, like I'd been given a certain amount forever. And
it was the fenbendazole.
It was the fenbendazole. That's what it was. Yeah, and I was doing it out of the paste wormer. It was just like a check every now and then, I was like on these bigger dogs and stuff. Well, man, one of those big, like a whole a tube of like the horse paste stuff. That's it. You got to give 3 or 4 times as much as you normally would of the ivermectin. You know what I mean? In comparison. Right. And so it was like, I was like, man, I'm just not getting all these worms, but I didn't want to put too much in there. Well, we got to breaking it down. Nate put the math on it and found out like the actual, what we're really supposed to be dosing. And it was like, what, twice as much or more?
Yeah.
Like
I was like, like in the tube, it's a lot weaker. It
was so crazy. I was like, man.
Right.
So best thing to do is know your dosages for sure.
That's it. That's exactly right. A lot of guys are, dude, you don't know how many guys that I've talked to that were way underdosing on the parental.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I can imagine. I really can.
You've got to. It is 5 milliliters per 10 pounds of body weight, and what that means is half of their body weight. Yep. And there was a guy that was giving his beagles 3 cc's. I said, how much is that? How much do you think that beagle weighs? He said, probably about 25 pounds.
Weigh it.
Well, you know what? If he weighs 25 pounds, then guess what? He needs 12. He needs 12 and a half cc's of that parental. I got a 70-pound hound over there. He's got to take 35 cc's of it.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot, but that's what it calls for. 5 milliliters and 5 cc's is the same thing per 10 pounds. So
that's what we ran into. Just what you're talking about right there, because I think it was 10 milliliters for 10 pounds or something. Wasn't it? It was something.
I don't remember.
Anyway, it was a lot more. And I was way underdosing. Like I was less than half. I know for sure.
Yeah, and it also just depends on the strength of whichever medication you have, because
they're all different.
Right. Yeah, because I know some of them, like a lot of the fenbendazole and the parental pomoate. Sometimes you can get it 5%. Sometimes you can get it 10. A lot of the vet stuff is going to be a lot stronger. It's going to be like 20 or 25%, and that's all going to affect your dosage.
Yeah,
because you're supposed to get so many milligrams per gram of the medication, but if the percentage of it is different, then that's going to look a lot different. You
got to change your dose according to what the strength of the medication.
Yep.
But I've always used the 4.54 on the parental.
Y'all are nerds.
Yeah.
You and Dave are nerds. I just grabbed that son gun and skeet it down his throat and hope. I'm like, stay right there, you son of a gun.
I was doing a good bit of research the other day looking at just different medications. And I found this one horse website, and they sell like totraturazil and so like coccidiosis, and they have you can buy like a gallon of fenbendazole that's 5%, and then you can buy like 1,000 milliliters of parental pomoate, and they had like a bunch of sales. And I was like, well, I want to make sure I'm giving the correct dosages. And I found this dosage calculator, and I'll put it down in the description. I'll probably just send it to you through text later. But that really, because you can be like, okay, my medications is this much, and this is the dosage I'm supposed to give. Oh, yeah. The dog weighs this much.
That's what you showed me the other day.
And it'll give you, it says, give it this many milliliters. And I was like, okay, that's very helpful.
Right. Yeah. Well, see, and with me, I don't deal with horses or cows or or anything. I deal with dogs, and so that's what I buy, the dog strength. You know what I mean? And but that it's real important to know your dosages and your different types of medication and what they do and what they don't do. It's just like parental's not effective against tapes and whips. And that's all. Some guys need a dose is parental. I'm like, man, you're missing out on the whole other side of it.
Yeah.
And
also the frequency of like when you do it. If you know that dog is got worms, if you can look at that dog and say, man, that dog's wormy, you don't go out there and hit it one time and move on. Like it's a process.
That's what I told a lot of guys when they're infested.
Tell them what to do with it.
When they're infected, you've got to handle it like they're infected. You can't do it like a monthly maintenance deal or you every 3 months. You know what? One of the things I like to do if I have a dog that's infected is go and buy that Safeguard fenbendazole powder, and you hit them 3 days in a row.
Yep.
And if you don't have access to that, what I did when I had 2 dogs test positive for hooks, and that's all they had. And they'd been on their regular maintenance schedule. You know what I mean? None of my other dogs tested positive for anything except them 2. So what I did first and foremost, was go in there in both of those 2 kennels, and I disinfected them. I cleaned the ground out real good. Sprayed it down with Clorox because mine are still on dirt. I don't like concrete personally, but so I mixed me up some Clorox, with some water, and you know what the watering kettles, you water flowers with.
Yeah.
I just take that and I fill it all the way up with that Clorox and that water, mix it up good. Clean all. See, I do shavings, so I clear all my old shavings out and dig down just a little bit in the ground.
Yep. And
then I'll saturate that whole ground from corner to corner all the way across, like I'm mowing grass, with that Clorox, and let it. And I'll take that dog out of there while I'm doing that, because, as houndsmen, the last thing we want to do is screw up our dog's olfactory systems.
Exactly.
And that Clorox will do that.
It sure will.
It'll damage their olfactory. So pull them out of there, scrape the old shavings out, pull them out, do my Clorox heavy, let it soak into the ground, get saturated. It ain't got to be all the way dry, but, and then I'll go in with and lay some barn lime real heavy on top of that. And then I'll come in and lay my shavings down pretty thick. Because you got some Clorox in there and heavy barn lime like that, ain't too much going to want to live in that.
No, I think that would work really good.
Yeah. So I went in there and did that first. After I did that, I started dosing them. And I had just hit them with the worm out tablet in, what was it, March? No, February. They tested positive in March. So I went ahead and hit them again, both of them. Hit them with another worm out tablet. The next day I came in and I hit them with some ivermectin, because ivermectin, although it's a heartworm prevention, strictly, but it is effective against rounds and hooks.
Yep.
To a degree, not completely. And then that third day I came in and hit them heavy with the parental.
Gotcha.
I waited about a week and a half, got stool samples from both of them, and they were both negative after that.
Good deal.
So,
I mean, you did. That's a big process there. And that's the correct way to do it.
Right.
Right. If you just went out there and wormed the dogs, I mean, your grounds could be contaminated. It might not be, but it could be.
Right.
And so did you do any good? You know what I mean?
Right. And see, that's the thing, a lot of times, most of the time, the hooks, if they're not passed through feces from a source outside of the kennel area, there's something in your grounds.
Oh, yeah.
Somehow they got infected somehow, unless it was something they got into out in the woods somewhere, maybe some dog poop from another dog or something from another kennel.
That's right.
But they hadn't been out for a while. But so the hooks, a lot of times they can get hooks from the ground, ingesting it, from the dust and the ground and up through their paws. And so it's just real important for me to go in and make sure that ground's been treated real good.
So how many dogs do you normally keep, Reese?
Right now, let's see, man, over the years, I've had up to upwards that, 18, and At one time, I had 26, but
I got you.
Now since my daddy's gone, and I pretty much do it by myself. You know, my wife helps out and everything, but
yeah,
it ain't the same. She's not full time with it like my daddy was.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, I'm just basically down to 9.
Okay.
And that's just for my own good.
Oh yeah, no, I get it 100%. I'm trying to downsize myself.
Yeah, that's for my own sanity.
Yeah, it can eat up a lot of time, and
money.
Yeah, all the money part. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and you know, I had help with my daddy, you know, financially and everything. So
that's right.
Once he was gone, all that was gone. The physical help, the money, you know, the morale, you know.
Yeah. That's got to be tough, man. I was just curious on that. Like, I know you said you're doing, you know, stool samples and stuff, fecal exam or fecal samples. How important is that to some of these listeners out there, these newer dog men and women out there that's really getting into this? How important is that to get a fecal sample done?
Well, my thing is, I think I'd rather know for sure than guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and the fecal samples are not expensive. I think, you know, I pay $15 for a fecal sample.
Yeah.
You know, that's
bad.
cheap.
Yeah.
That's, you know, that's real cheap to get a little bit of peace of mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and to know what course of action that you need to take, you know.
Yeah, let you know how to treat it.
Exactly. So if you got a dog that ain't got nothing but tapeworms, then, you know, the animal's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it's what the praziquantel is for the tapes, or is it for the whips? One of them is
tape. Yeah, I think it's tapes.
The praziquantel.
Yes, it should be for the tape.
And although it does fenbendazole and praziquantel both, they kill more than, you know, the fenbendazole I think is more towards whipworms, but it will kill more than whips. But one isn't as effective as the other against tapes and whips. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So if you got to know what you're working against.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's just like going hunting. You got to know which gun to grab.
That's it.
You know what are you taking on, and you know what tool do you need?
Absolutely. And you know, to touch on the tapes, if your dogs are flea free, you're not going to have any tapeworms.
Yeah.
You know, that's if you keep your mosquito population down, you got a better chance of them not having heartworms. You know.
So what do you do for fleas?
Simparica.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Man, I'm gonna tell you what, that was for me, from all my experiences of using Permethrin and Talstar and all these sprays and da for years.
Mm-hmm.
All it would do, you might kill a few, but all you're doing is making them move.
Yep.
You know, pretty much. You're not killing the life cycle, you know, and you're not really killing the fleas off. You might feel better for about 3 or 4 days, and they'll be right back.
Oh yeah.
And the 2016 is when I first experienced Simparica. That's when it came out, actually.
Yeah.
Man, I had a flea infestation so bad. I mean, when I picked my dogs up, my white dogs, and they're all gone now. They're all passed. But when I picked them up, you could see the fleas going up the chest.
Oh yeah.
Oof. And when I pulled up to the kennels and stepped foot out into the ground, they were running up my pant leg.
Man, I've been there. We've had them. Yeah. It's horrible.
And you know, so I went to the vet. I took one to the vet, and I got to do something about these fleas. And now this was before the Simparica. He gave me Advantix too.
Mm-hmm.
Now at first like year or two of that, it worked. It killed them. But then a few months later, fleas be right back on them. Hey, you know as well as I do, all these years we've been fighting fleas.
Oh yeah.
You know, but when that Simparica came out, I was skeptical. He was like, "Yeah, you just give them that tablet there," and not sure they even knew how good it was going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
it's man, changed our whole
It's impressive. It is impressive.
Man, I'm trying to tell you. And people are like, yeah, okay, but you give them the chewable tablet and it kills the fleas on them. But what about the grounds? Just listen to me. Mm-hmm. You don't have to worry about spraying the grounds because whatever's on the ground is going to jump on them and die too.
It'll knock them off, son. It'll shake them up.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And it's hard to get that part across people, get people to wrap their minds around, you're giving your dog a chewable tablet down their throat.
I told my wife about it. And we had my son had a little kitten in the house, and that thing was from outside, and it had some fleas on it. And, of course, with cats and stuff, it's totally different. Well, her little puppy in there, that rascal got the fleas. And, he was just scratching and crying.
Yeah.
And Nathan gave him one little bitty piece. And, now this is a little bitty-ass dog now. This something ain't big as a Coke bottle. And she would get in there every morning and give him a bath and take a comb and comb him out. I said, look, just give him some of that damn medicine. Oh, I don't know what it'll do to him. It's gonna kill the fleas. What it gonna do? Mm-hmm. Well, finally she was gonna take him to the vet and all this. I said, this is what he's gonna do. I'm telling you. Well, Nate gave him a little shot of that and
fixed him up.
I'm talking about they would just fell out dead in the floor. She's sitting there and she had dead fleas in her hand. Mm-hmm. Boy, hey, that woman right now, I'm telling you, she'd get Simparica tattooed on her back, show it off. She loves some pick. The other day she said something about it. She said, "You think we need to give him some more?" I said, "Hell, it ain't been 2 weeks. Calm down."
Yeah.
That's what I told her. Give a little bit, baby.
I'm gonna tell you what. They tell you to give it to them monthly.
Yeah.
I dose. Well, since I ain't got fleas in my kennels anymore, I dose probably once or twice a year.
That's what I was going to ask. Once you get it all under control, it don't seem like you'd have to.
Yeah. That's that's all you got to do. But I tell you, man, 2016 is when I first started.
You've been using a long time.
Yeah. Yep, when it first came out. Anyway, I'm giving my damn house dog treats right now, so I got a little sidetracked. I apologize.
No, hell, you good? That's what this show's about. People who have dogs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But anyway, exactly so I gave him that first dose, and then I was like, okay, I was skeptical. Got to the kennels the next day. And I was looking at my dogs. There wasn't a damn flea on them. Mm-hmm. But see, here's the thing. I got out of the truck and I still have fleas on my legs, which I expected that anyway.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I went to the kennels and I checked Silo, my old hound. He's gone now, but all of them dogs are gone now. But I looked, I said, damn, he ain't got a flea on him. I checked them all, went around, checked all the dogs, and not one of them had fleas on them.
You didn't take one, did you, Reese?
Take what? Hey, you know what? I probably should have.
I was going to say, you had all the fleas jumping on you. Take one of them Simparicas, man. You'll knock them out.
Yeah, I'd shoot if I would have took one of them Simparicas. They might have found me in the next county over in the woods lost.
Oh my goodness, man! But it's amazing, really. It's a great product.
Yeah, it is.
And if they want to sponsor us, then that's fine. They can sponsor all of us.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah,
they should, because I know a lot of houndsmen that use it now.
Oh yeah.
So
where do you get yours from?
From the Pets Mega Store, same place I get my worm out tablet.
I was going to say, so where we get ours. Yeah, that's the same place we get ours.
Yeah.
I guess that's about the best price you can find, don't it?
It is. It is. I've priced it at other places besides, you can't get it in America unless you get a vet's prescription and get your dog exam done. And now I was saying bye to my little buddy. He's over here, my little buddy that I mentor and take hunting. But anyway,
are you good?
Nary, yeah. If you buy it here in the States, it's a lot more expensive. You got to get a vet's prescription, and they have to have an exam. That's already how much money.
Oh man, ain't no telling. You get an honest vet, it might not be that bad, but like
some vets will just stack it on you.
Yeah, Nate found that out with Louis. He went to go get him tested.
Yeah, I was like,
and man, they started stacking it. That bill went from supposed to be like $80.
They said it's going to cost $98, and it was $198, and I was like, whoa. Yeah. And I was like, what's the difference? No, they gave him like 4 additional vaccines I didn't ask for. I was like,
yeah, see,
thanks.
I'll tell you what, the vet. I'm thankful that the vet that I have now, they're good about that. They'll ask you, do you want to get this, or this, and I have the option. They give you the option.
That's good.
And I tell them, well, I don't need that. All I need really is the rabies, because that's the only one I can't give myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, if you find a good vet, you better stick with them.
Oh, ain't no doubt. It's hard to find.
Yeah. So anyway, going back to what we're talking about, for the summer deal or whatever, that I think we pretty much covered the dewormers.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, the dewormers. That's it.
The dewormers.
That's from my partner out there, the Endurance Kennels. They run sled dogs and stuff, and it was just one of those things. I thought it was funny, because he was like, "Well, we deworm our dogs," and I don't know if he's just being, just being funny about it or being smart about it. Either way, it don't matter. I thought I was funny. I was like, well, you know what? Maybe, that's what we really need to say, because that's what you're doing. You're deworming. But in the South, everybody says, "Hey, I got to worm these dogs."
Well, that's it. That's how we say it. And if you really listen to it, it sounds like we're giving them worms.
Exactly. So from the outside looking in, those people are probably thinking, why the hell are they giving them dogs worms?
Yeah. No. And that's just that demographic,
exactly.
We're all different, but.
So we're getting the dogs, getting them ready, like you said, we cover the worming schedules, deworming schedules, dosages, different things like that, fleas and ticks. Let's see what else.
I forgot to mention that Simparica, y'all know it, but it kills mange mites and ear mites.
Yes.
As well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I did. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying that's real important, because a lot of houndsmen deal with mange and ear mites.
I used to use the pour-on ivermectin.
Okay. Topical,
yeah, the topical, and I used it because it killed, lungworms, mange mites, different things like that, all different types of mites and skin irritations. And a lot of people, they were like, "Man, you use that for worming, to worm your dogs?" And I was like, "Well, it does help. Like it's still for a preventative as far as for your heartworms, but at the same time." I was running all those smaller dogs, little terriers and stuff, and I could put that right down their back. And those dogs had, when we first got them, like not all of them, but there was a larger portion of them that would get skin irritations. Like they had certain type allergies. You know what I mean? They almost looked like hot spots, but they weren't. The vet said, "This is not a hot spot. This is an allergy." And my buddy Clay Austin, the one that got me into hog hunting stuff, he dosed one that, just doused it, covered it. I said, "That poor dog's going to be dead in the morning." He said, "Well, it'll heal it or kill it." It healed it. Yeah. And so it was my dog. And, but it healed it up. So after that, I was like, these things have a lot of benefits. But now, like you said, we're over we swapped over to Simparica, and it just covers so many things like that. And it's very important as, as houndsmen, because a lot of us are traveling and we're hunting with other dogs and other people. And every time that we turn our dogs loose with another 10 or 15 dogs or 2 dogs or whatever, we don't know what those dogs are bringing in and out.
That's exactly right. And, it's sometimes, man, I hate to be an asshole, but, sometimes I don't want to run my dogs with some of these guys' dogs.
Right, exactly.
And not only because they might be trashy out there in the woods, but they might have some diseases with them.
Oh, no doubt.
And that ain't, that people can't take that personally. You know, so a lot of houndsmen they're kind of strange about and funny about their dogs. You know.
Oh yeah. So what kind of illnesses or diseases you think, or would you say that would be the most common that somebody should look for if they could just kind of take a peek and look at a dog and say, man, that dog, he ain't looking too sporty, or things they need to worry about out there doing this?
Oh man, I remember growing up, you know, and my daddy, I mean, he's an old school houndsman, but I remember he'd look at a dog and he'd say, that dog got distemper. Or something like that, you know, and but honestly, man, I can look at my hounds and know that something's wrong, but I couldn't tell you what, you know, exactly what's wrong with them. To be honest with you, I could tell if they're wormy, but you know, sometimes if you got one that ain't putting on no weight, I mean, it could be worms, it could be high metabolism. He might have pancreatitis. You know, something going on with his pancreas or a thyroid issue, you know.
I've heard that before, especially like in the treeing dog world, the thyroid stuff. I've heard that a lot. And I don't know if that's a thing or if that's just an excuse for slick treeing. I don't know. You know, but
I don't know. I don't know.
I've seen some dogs that were really hard to keep weight on, though, like you said. And we've got one right now that we brought back from Texas. It's a blue lacy. And, man, she's got such a high metabolism. I mean, this dog is wound tight.
Yeah.
And I think she's starting to put some on. We wound up getting some supplements and introduced that. And we're going to see how that works over the next few days or maybe a couple of weeks. See how that does. But she is just wound so tight, man. At first, I was like, well, maybe bringing her here, you know, maybe she's wormy. And
right.
That son of a gun's been dewormed, I mean, heavily.
Yeah, yeah. Well, here's the thing. I've got one youngin. I could never get weight on youngin. I know he didn't, and I had his fecal sample done. He didn't have any parasites. And so what I did, you know, I started feeding him twice a day. And instead of doing one feeding, and what I learned was that, you know, and he started putting on weight when I did that. And what I learned is smaller portions of food, they digest it better and easier. And so what was happening, you know, he was getting too much food all at one time. And I kept trying to pump his feed up, feeding him once a day and pumping it up some more. And he still was not, he wasn't gaining an ounce. And when I switched him up to twice a day, you know, smaller portions, and that twice a day, instead of feeding him 4 cups at one time,
feeding 2 and 2.
Yep, 2 and 2. And he started picking up weight, and I added a probiotic in there for his gut health, you know, to help him digest food better. And he's put on quite a bit of weight. He's a tank now.
That's what this stuff is that we've got now. We just partnered up with them, and I've used some of their stuff before, and I was very, very, I mean, like overly impressed with it. I was like, holy shit, this stuff is really working. My buddy Rodney, he had a little old dog, and I mean, that dog could eat a 50-pound bag of dog food a day, and she ain't going to weigh. She ain't going to gain nothing.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he brought that rascal, and I mean, now she wasn't like, you know, she was lean, and you know what I'm talking about. Like she was a little thin, but she wasn't like emaciated and all that. You could see top of her hip points, and man, he brought her, and he had went through that one bag, and he brought that rascal out, and buddy, she was filled out. Couldn't see them hip points. And I'm talking about she looked good. I said, he told me, he said, I don't know what that stuff is. He said, but it works.
Well, what's you got? Let me shoot me that.
Oh, I'll send you all the stuff. We're gonna share it with everybody once what we're doing is kind of in the testing phases of some of it. They've got several different things. You know, they got one for recovery. They got one for hydration. One for whelping dogs and pregnant dogs.
They got pregnant dogs and puppies, and then they have a weight booster.
Yep.
And then they have, like you said, just like a standard
and that's
rehydration, and then they have one that's a recovery.
Yep.
And it has like different dosages.
It's got probiotics. One of them, like the weight booster stuff, it's got like probiotics in it, different things like that. And man, it's I just started her yesterday on it. And I'm going to see the difference. I'm going to take a couple of pictures, and that way I can really see what the difference is. And I need to pull the scales out, actually, and weigh her, and then weigh her once a week and just see where she's at. If we can hold her still. That son of a gun's wild as a buck, son. I mean,
that's how Youngin is, man. He's high strung.
Mm-hmm.
And but anyway, one thing, when back years ago when I first started introducing, probiotics to them.
Yeah.
I started learning about prebiotics too.
Okay.
And the probiotics feed the probiotics feed the prebiotics. So if you could find something that's got a combination of pro and pre,
yes.
For a dog that you might think have some gut issues, that'll help correct some of that, because sometimes the probiotics alone won't do it unless you got the prebiotics with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's just, that's me, man. And not everybody, I get into it like that. I get real technical with my hounds,
Oh, ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's one of those things where you can make it as technical as you want it to be, or you can just make it a routine.
Right.
And there's nothing technical about it. It's just your everyday routine. I've learned that, man. It's you get to looking at it, you're like, man, you're really getting into this stuff and going above and beyond what the norm is. And that's just because you want better dogs, healthier dogs. That's all that is, And I wish more people would do that. I wish I'd have done it earlier.
Well, see, back years ago, we didn't know any better.
No,
a lot of guys used to feed tobacco leaves for worms.
Oh yeah,
as a wormer,
Well, hell, we couldn't afford a lot of the stuff because there wasn't a lot on the market, and some of it, like you said, some of these things were very, very expensive. Like you said, like Simparica, you have to go to the vet, you have to do all these other things, and it's going to cost you hundreds of dollars to get that. Well, now we can just order it off over here.
Yeah,
and get it for $5-6 a pill.
There's probably more vets now than there's ever been.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's so much easier for us to do it the right way.
And plus, you can just look it up on your phone.
Oh yeah, now you got Google. Yeah,
that's exactly right. And I burn my damn Google up.
Yes,
I all the time just trying to, if there's something I can avoid a vet. If there's something I can figure out that I can do on my own, I'm going to do it.
Yes.
I feel like that's one thing about houndsmen. A lot of houndsmen, we're resourceful, and we've had to be, especially if you've been been around in and around it, since the 70s and the 80s. Back then they were feeding orange peels and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's right.
And the only big worming pills they had back then was Happy Jack, was the big old stinking purple. And
oh man, yes.
You remember those?
Hell yes, I remember them things. I mean, they was the size of your thumb.
Yeah,
and trying to get them down them beagles. My Lord.
Yes, sir. They were huge. They were huge, and you're trying to shove that pill down their throat.
And like for fleas and stuff like that, hey, get that 55-gallon drum out. We're gonna mix up some dip, son. We're gonna dip them.
That's it, and that's how my daddy did it. We had a big old. He had a metal drum.
Yeah.
A big old 55-gallon metal drum, and he called me out there. Reese, come out here, help me out. And I went out there, and as a matter of fact, man, that's one of those. That's part of that post we were talking about, where I thought Daddy was being hard on his dogs.
Yeah.
But I thought he was going to drown them.
Hold them rascals down, son. They trying to get out. You just hold them down there, son.
and he'd hold them. They'd be in there flailing around, you know, and he'd have it all the way up to their right below their ears.
Oh yeah.
And you know, and he'd make them be still. And I thought he was down choking them to death, but he was doing them a favor.
Yeah, and no doubt. When I first started doing it myself, I said, man, I'm gonna mix this drum up. And I had a couple of bulldogs. I had a rat terrier and a little feist. I had several dogs. I had a basset hound. I was like, well, I got to dip all of them. And man, I said, I don't want to. Yeah, I mean, like a bigger dog, honestly, was easier because I could just drop him in there and he could jump out if he needed to.
Right.
Well, them little dogs, man, you got to hope they'll wear you out. So I had a little pump sprayer. And man, I had them. All my dogs were on chain spots then. I just walked that chain down. I take that pump sprayer and start at his ears, go all the way to his tail. I said, man, this is so easy. Like I thought I was really doing something, you know. And now it's just really easy, you know.
Yeah.
And better.
Yeah, I mean,
it's better.
I mean, with the Superica with 40 head or between 30 and 40 head at any given time, I mean, I can have all the dogs flea and tick treated in an hour and plus, you know, immature heartworms and then a few of the worms. It's like that. You can't beat that. You can't beat that.
y'all do the trio?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. See, I opted out of the trio. Didn't exist back when I started on it.
Mm-hmm.
It was just the regular Superica, and I've just stuck with it because I still do ivermectin.
Yeah.
And you know, and plus I do my own, you know, deworming, so I didn't need it. You know, I think the Superica trio is just hooks and rounds, ain't it?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so.
It might treat whips as well, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah.
I know basically like the program we're talking about doing now is like first of the month, do it, especially during like summer, like bird migration, because we have a bunch of birds that come through here. Well, not a whole lot, but enough to where occasionally we'll have some coccidiosis pop up. And that's typically what it's going to be from is like when the birds migrate. And so, so we was talking about doing like the Superica trio and some Tortrazil at the beginning of the month. And then like the second week of the month, doing ivermectin and fenbendazole, and then like basically switching like during some of the summer months, maybe hitting them with some praziquantel if we got some fleas. But if you don't have fleas, you shouldn't get tapeworms.
Yeah.
You know? Right, exactly. So that's the thing. But that's pretty cool though. I mean, especially y'all say you got, you know, your migratory birds that come through there.
Mm-hmm.
You got to worry about that.
Yeah. And that's the only times that we've really ever had coccidiosis would be like February through April, somewhere in there, and then like September through November.
That's the only
and that's the only, like during the heat of the summer, during the dead of the winter, no real issues with coccidiosis.
We've been pretty good the past couple of years, like not having to deal with it much at all. But we use the preventatives, you know, we try preventatives. But we had a couple of years. That's been a long time ago, but like I had a couple of years there, man. It was we didn't even know what it was.
Yeah.
I carried it to the vet. You know, I carried a couple of dogs to the vet, and I was like, dude, I don't know what this is. And I lost two really good dogs, and they stayed at the vet for 11 days, and like there's nothing they could do. You know, I don't know what the deal was. Yeah.
And see, for up until really just last year, we were still using Improlium, which is what's in Corid. And like dogs can become immune to that over time, and so can the oocytes and stuff with coccidia. And so it only is really treating part of the life cycle. And then, like I said, found the new medication, the Tortrazil or Totraturazil. I don't remember how to exactly pronounce it. And it treats the entire life cycle of coccidiosis. So I like that a little bit better.
Oh man, that's cool. That's cool to know because I mean, that stuff's hard on a dog.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I've only dealt with it one time, and I got it knocked out, you know, as soon as I knew what was going on. And I can't remember what I did. It was one dog, and, you know, his poop smelled like death, and it looked like jelly.
Yes.
Yeah, it'd be like yellow mucusy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like almost clearish at times, like almost kind of look like egg whites. Real weird.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you think when you first see it, you think it's parvo.
Yeah, but it's just slightly off. Yeah. But like if you didn't know what coccidiosis is, like you would think it was parvo almost every
until
time.
It's a 3-year-old dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what blew my mind. I was like, at first I was like, this dog is 1.5 years old, and this other dog was like 3 or 4 years old. I was like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
And that's been, man, that's probably been 15 years ago or better. And man, I didn't know what in the world to do,
Yeah.
There was no information out, that was just right offhand that I knew about anyway. And so after that is when I really started trying to research more, and research became more available as well. Like I said, everything we got now is right on our phone, right at the end of our fingertips.
Yeah. Yep. And, sometimes I'll tell you, man, when you go into that Google now, a lot of times what you're typing in and researching, the first couple results that you're going to get is going to be from companies that paid to advertise there.
Yes.
They're going to give you information that's going to be biased to them.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to giving you information that's going to help you do something at home by yourself, or find something out that you need to know outside of that source.
Read on down in there.
And that's it. Scroll down until you start getting into, people's personal accounts and what they did and, stuff like that. My wife pointed that out to me. She's like, baby, those first couple of lines are going to be advertisements from companies, and they're not going to give you their marketing. They're not going to give you exactly what you're trying to find out.
That's right. And same thing with me. Like when I first started looking, I was like, well, man, all this sounds good, but like there was a few things that I had researched, and I was like, there's nothing on here that I've ever heard before. And so I kept looking down. Then I got to some forums, and
there you go.
It was people's personal accounts, and you would see some old school stuff, and then there would be new stuff out, and people would say, hey, my vet done this and it worked. And so that's a good thing, good piece of information right there, Reese, for our listeners out there. Make sure that y'all just the first thing that pops up on Google is not necessarily what you need to go with. Read a few, read on down. That's right.
There you go. Just don't fall right into that. Right there. Like I said, she pointed that out to me. But the biggest thing, y'all, is the prevention and preventative measures is going to keep you out of trouble. Yep. That's going to keep you out of the big stuff. And you learn as you go. But I learned that if I stay on top of my prevention, then I'm not going to have to get out of a mess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's, as far as your, the different diseases and stuff like that, and just all boils down to sanitation and, like we do with our ivermectin. And, if you stay on top of that, you don't have to worry about your heartworms. But there's always going to be something come up.
Oh, yeah.
That you ain't never dealt with.
Ain't no doubt, man. It seems like it's every year something happens, but at the same time, it might be something new. It's not the same old.
Exactly. I tell you, man, I've had a couple had some kidney issues, and I know that's what killed them. I had one that had jaundice real bad, and she ended up having cancer too. And and it, thinking back, I was just wondering, damn, was I feeding them too much protein?
Yeah.
And see, back then I wasn't really paying attention to protein intake. Yeah. And I know damn well, I had one named Macy. I know that was what was wrong with her. She was in kidney failure. And I can't really, unless it was genetic, I can't really blame that on anything else but myself. That's the only way I can look at it. If I put it on myself, that's it. I'm gonna get better with it.
Oh yeah.
And I believe I was overfeeding them.
That's something that people don't think that you can hurt a dog by that. Like people really don't think that.
Yeah, making them, if you get them to the point where they're obese, you're hurting the joints, and and then in the summertime you're feeding all that protein, you're not really running them, you're burning them kidneys up. So for now, during my summer, when we're idle, because I can't run after April, I don't have private land anymore.
Yes, sir.
To run, so then I got to wait till October. So they're down for 6 months, unless somebody invites me to run, which I don't like to run in the heat. No way.
Yeah.
Because losing them to daggum heat stroke, that's a whole nother subject right there. But what I do, during the season when I'm running them, the days you run, obviously you don't feed them before you run them. They can kill a dog, cause gastro issues and cause their stomach to flip. That can kill them, but like right now, my 55 pound dogs, they get a cup and a half of feed in the morning and a cup and a half in the evening. And to a lot of people, they probably think I ain't feeding them dogs enough, but it's enough. It sustains their muscle, and they filled out, since they ain't running,
Oh yeah.
They're not obese by any means, but I know I'm not hurting them internally. And plus I feed a 28-20, a value pack. And so you got to cut them back. But at the same time, you want to keep that protein to a point to where it's going to sustain the muscle that they built from the previous season. Maintaining that muscle and finding that balance between not getting them obese and maintaining the muscle mass that they've already built. And so I've kind of found that balance with mine, and I use a measuring cup. Back years ago we didn't. We used a coffee can or some kind of coffee cup or something. Didn't measure, but that's something I do now. I'm measuring. Each hound's bigger or smaller. I'll give them more or less depending on their weight, on how big they are.
That's a good thing.
Man, it's just little simple stuff like that, man, that it would get on the average person's nerves if they had to come over there and do what I do.
Yeah, it's we got a feed scoop, and we've got a certain line that we go by, and it's 3 cups, and then the next line will be 4 cups. And it's the same way. Like, some dogs will get 2 cups, then some dogs will get 3 cups. It just depends. And then we've got some dogs that's going to get 4 cups.
Exactly.
That's
exactly. It depends on that dog individually. Like we were talking about earlier. Is he high strung and he got a high? Does he have a high metabolism?
Or is he just lay around?
Right. And see, I got some that are. I've got anywhere from 45 pounds up to 75 pounds.
Yeah.
And they all get fed according to how busy they are and how what their weight is, how big they are. Tex is about 62 pounds, and he's in the kennel with his brother, BJ. And BJ's probably right around 49, 50 pounds. He's not a big hound.
Yeah.
I give BJ about a cup and a quarter, sometimes a cup and a half. And Tex, I'll give him upwards to a cup and three quarters, and sometimes 2 cups.
Yeah.
Every day, sometimes I can go over there, and yesterday he looked a little more fuller than he does today. So I might just give him a little extra, Tex is taller and leggier, rangier than BJ, and they came from the same litter.
It's so weird on that. To me,
yeah,
man. The dogs, man, they'll come out all different sizes, different weights, and be the same daggum dog, same litters,
Same litter, they're the same color, but they look kind of like twins. But Tex is taller and heavier, and he's got bigger ears than BJ. BJ looks more like a fox walker. Tex looks like a daggum tree walker.
Huh.
And but Tex gets a little bit more food than BJ. And then right next, the next kennel over is Woody. Woody's about 75 pounds. Yeah. And I'll flat out give him 2.
Yeah.
You
got to put it to him.
Yeah, old big boy. He's big. He needs just a little bit more to sustain,
On the dogs, like your dog's running them the way you do you ever have any issues with their pads and their feet?
Seldomly.
Okay.
Yeah, not most of the time. We're either in hardwoods and you got a lot of leaf litter.
Okay.
Or or down east where we run, there's pine needles.
Yes.
I've never really had a lot of issues with some of their pads. Sometimes they might come up and warn the pads off.
Yeah.
But Tex did that one year, but he ran that deer for 17 miles.
Good Lord.
And I finally called him coming. As a matter of fact, I got it in a video. And that was in one hunt. That wasn't the other 2 that we did. That wasn't and he was smoking that deer.
I think he's putting it to him, wasn't he?
Yeah, sir. Him and Annie. I've got Annie's retired now, and she's in the house, but she was with him, and her pads were fine. But he came up the dirt road, and he was limping. Big old white. He's a big white dog. Y'all might have seen that video. I don't know.
I think I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have. I remember that bigger dog, big white dog.
Yeah, and he was coming up the dirt road just limping. And I, after I, got through recording that video, I set my phone down. I looked at his pads, and they were both raw on both sides, on all 4.
Man, I hear a lot of, I think it's more locale as far as like the pads getting wore off real bad or blowing a pad, whatever.
Yeah.
Like you get a lot of guys in Texas and out there where it's, a more sandy, hot, drier climates.
Yep.
And then you get guys that are in the mountains, which is a lot of rocky soil or, a lot of rocks.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm thinking that might have a lot to do with some of the pad issues. I've never had to deal with them. Like you said, it's kind of the same thing with us. We're running in hardwoods. Now we run a lot of cutovers, but at the same time, I mean, it's from a pine forest that's been cut, and there's still, 4 inches or 6 inches of pine needles on the ground. Now their face and their ears will be tore up, but their pads usually hold really good.
Right. Well, and I was going to say, instead of having raw worn out pads, they'll have cuts more so.
Yeah.
On their pads than being worn down. Their faces will be full of briars.
Yeah.
Especially coming through them cutovers.
The only time I've had ours that they got tender-footed was when we went to Texas, went down to South Texas, and all that. Man, it was hot, and the ground temperature was unreal. It was bad, that sand and stuff.
Yeah.
And after about the 3rd day, I had 2 or 3 dogs. You can see they were starting to pick their feet up a little bit. They, limping. It wasn't real bad. I was actually surprised how well they held up. But
right.
When you take them out of one place and put them in another spot like that, and they hold up good, you're doing something right with them.
Yeah, you're doing something good. But ice and snow will tear them up pretty bad.
Yes. Mike Sapp told me about that stuff.
Yeah.
From Michigan.
Yeah. We rabbit hunted one time, and the guy told me on the phone that morning that it's melted.
Yeah.
I was going up to the mountains. I'm not far from the Appalachians. I'm probably 20 minutes from the closest range where it starts. And anyway, got up there. Damn, no snow melted. I was hot. I was hot because I had loaded them dogs up and going up there and thinking we were gonna really put on a good rabbit hunt. And man, the damn ground was frozen with ice. And I told him, I said, these dogs, I don't know how well these dogs are going to do in this, because they're not used to that. We're not in Michigan.
That's right.
They're not, these dogs ain't been bred and worked in ice and snowy conditions. And I knew it was going to, wear their pads out, and it did.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah, I think a lot of them trial guys that run on the inside, I think they deal with a lot of worn out pads.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like I said, we've just never had to deal with it much.
No,
and not saying that because like we've got dogs. I mean, they'll push for however long you let them. They'll just keep rolling.
Yeah. I mean, it's happened, but it's never been like a consistency thing.
Yeah,
right.
That's what I told you. In Texas, we had they were tender footed, but I mean, like they ran. Like 3 days. I mean,
the ground's 130 degrees, all the rocks, flint, and then cactus.
Yeah.
And I think the flint has the biggest thing to do with it because just a little shard of flint will cut
they're sharp. They're sharp. That flint's sharp. I'll tell you, man, but once it gets so bad, though, I mean, your dogs, if them pads are raw, they ain't really no good anymore.
No, that's it. Put them up.
Yeah, them rabbit dogs, once we got to a certain point, they couldn't go anymore.
Yeah.
They were standing around looking at me and limping and standing there holding their paws up in the air. I was like, man, we got to go.
Yeah. I've seen people get mad about that shit. And I'm like, why would you get mad? Like, take your shoes off and cut your feet up and then take off walking.
Yeah, you're damn right.
See how that shit works for you.
And I know you've seen that meme, about, we're a heavy burden on our hounds.
Yes.
And that's exactly what that meme's talking about, And I know my hounds. And I know what they can do. And if I cut them loose and one or two, they're acting this way or that way, when I know what they can do, there's something ain't right. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna see what's going on, I know when the damn smelling ain't no good. When the smelling ain't no good, those hounds they're not real interested.
No.
They'll try to go hit a thicket and hunt something up. And I've seen I'm gonna tell you now, bad scent conditions will get a man frustrated.
Oh Lord, yes.
You're questioning your life choices out there.
Yes, I'm trying to tell you. And then when it gets to that point, then you got to sit back and say, you know what? The scent conditions are bad.
Yep.
And you can't get mad at them, and you ain't done nothing wrong. You know what they did last week.
That's a big thing right there. Like I said, knowing what they did the last hunt or what they consistently do. And you're like, man, you got good dogs, and then they have one day there and it's not working. So there's something off,
Exactly. And I'm gonna tell you what, I've seen the scent conditions change at the drop of a dime.
Oh yes.
I'll tell you, I saw a daggum deer standing in the road, and we just came off of a run, and the dogs were still relatively fresh. So I went down there, and I dumped a box on it. The deer was already gone. I mean, it already took off. I saw my truck coming down the road. It was like a long dirt road, sand road, and that's all. Them deer down there, they want, if they see a truck, they're gone. They don't play. They know what's in that truck, and they've been ran so much, they know. And I let them out on it, and my coldest nose dog could barely smell that deer. I was like, what the hell is going on? And, I pulled my phone out. I looked at the dew point and the humidity, and I looked at the barometric pressure. I was like, well, there it is. They can't smell it, And I've seen guys get mad at their damn dogs, get themselves embarrassed. I said, you need to be mad at yourself because you didn't understand, scent conditions.
We did that when we was in Texas also.
Mm-hmm.
It went from 45% humidity to 10% humidity.
Oh, hell.
Oh, dude, let me tell you, them dogs.
The humidity don't hold after 9 a.m.
No,
after 9 a.m.
The hog there was a hog at the feeder.
Yes.
And we went there 10 minutes later.
Wet mud.
I'm talking about, like right there. And our dogs acted like they had never smelled a hog. Well, Case gets his dogs out, goes out there, and his dogs start milling around, and they just act the same way. He was like, what in the world's going on? So he walked them on in a little more. Well, finally, one of them struck. And it was like, okay, here we go. Dogs go out there. They bathed the hog for a minute and then quit. And like they went to relay, like went to head out again. It was like, what in the hell is going on?
They couldn't damn smell it.
And it was at night. So that's the only thing I could think of. I was like, well, there was just enough that one dog could smell him a little and knew something was there, but they never actually tracked the hog. I think Case walked that son of a gun a half a mile down through there, walked the hog. He said them dogs. He said the dogs stayed right there. He said they acted like they didn't. It wasn't just ours, because I was like, well, I had some puppies. I was like, well, I can't get mad at the puppies, really. And that's what Casey was like. He said, hell, my grown dog did it. He said, none of them would do that. The next morning, they looked like superstars.
Mm-hmm. And then hunting this past winter, when we were hunting like late December, January, and it was cold.
Yep.
And we have a lot of clay here. And so the soil holds a lot of moisture. Well, after it gets past freezing, like all that scent just froze in. It's basically the same conditions. And like the dogs ain't gonna smell much of nothing after once you shine that clay and you see a shiny little frost across. Let's go home. We hunt until the frost lays down, and then we gotta go.
I tell you, we did that quite a few times. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. And you get a good frosty morning. As soon as that sun hits, a little bit starts melting a little bit. They can burn him down, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
They can handle a track just like champs.
Yes.
But that's a lot of guys. You know, if you don't understand scent conditions, you're gonna get yourself disappointed a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know.
And it took me a long time to, and I still don't understand all of it by no means, but it took me a long time to really step back, like you said, to give the dog the benefit, and because if you know your dog and you know it's a good dog and he does what he's supposed to do, and then he's having a night, well, there's a reason why. That's right. Like you said, chances are it's scent conditions.
That barometric pressure when it's rising. When it's high and the scents rising, and it says you got a little breeze too.
Yeah.
And the barometric pressure is carrying the scent up real fast, and in that breeze, they're gonna have a hard time. They're gonna have a real hard time, and but that's how you can make a dog like that too, though. Now makes them work a little harder. But I've got some dogs that seem like they're not even interested. They'll mill around and kind of hang around me, stop and look up at me. I was like, go on. You go right, and I'll get frustrated with them. Get away from me,
I'm sure you say it just like that too.
Get out of here. No, I don't say it like that. Daggone well, I don't say it like that.
That's what I said.
Get your ass away.
Yeah, get your ass out there right now.
Exactly.
Oh.
Sometimes we got to be a little careful how we word things. I don't want the antis to get a hold of nothing.
No, it's so funny.
But you get frustrated, man, sometimes with them. But like I said, man, I've got dogs over there now that are, 7 and 7.5 years old. They know what it is. They know what's going on. They know what to do. And when they ain't acting right, I know it's not right. The younger dogs, they get a pass. They get a pass. The older dogs, they get a pass too, but it just lets me know that ain't right. I pull my phone out, pull the weather up, look at it, and I was like, well, there it is.
Yeah, it plays a big factor in it. I think there's there's a lot of younger hunters, and not necessarily by age, but people who haven't been hunting as long, And that's going to be something that this will be very helpful for them because they can look into it. You know, we had to learn all these things. And you know, some of us had people that was help us along the way or explain it to us. But if you don't have anybody and you're not from a hunting background or anything like that, that's one good thing about what we're doing now. Man, we get messages all the time. People like, man, I didn't know anything about it, and I learned all this from listening to you guys and all the guests that are on there. Well, you know, so
I've learned a lot. You know, just from the old houndsmen that I've hunted with.
That's right.
And from guys online, you know, I've learned a lot of things and things I absolutely had no clue about. You know, and that's the beauty of our community, though. I mean, we bounce off information off of each other and back and forth, and learn things. You know, I've learned things that I could do better than what I was doing. Yeah. Simply because I read a comment. You know.
Yes, sir.
Like, damn, you know what? Let me try that. And turns out, you know, it was 10 times better than what I was doing.
Well, that's having an open mind like that. I mean, you can do leaps and bounds. You can learn so much more. Being a closed-minded individual and being negative, you're not going to learn shit anyway.
You're going to stay dumb.
Yeah,
you're not going to learn anything. And but as far as, you know, with the scent conditions or whatever, I learned about with the dew point and the humidity, you know, you can have a high dew point, but but if that humidity is real low and the barometric pressure is high, you might as well hang it up.
Yeah.
But you can have, but I'm gonna tell you what, if you got high dew point and a high humidity and a low barometric pressure, the deer better watch out, buddy.
Yeah, because it's gonna lay on the ground.
Too. Yes, sir. And I'm talking about they better shit and get it, and not look back. They better not make a mistake.
That's right. That's a big thing. Like you said, the way a scent lays. You know, like there's a lot of times, like if we have, depending on the day and the weather and everything, like if we have a hog that runs across the road in front of us, man, forever, like especially where we're at, where we hunt at. I won't even put out on him. I'll go somewhere else and hunt for a little while, and I'll come back. I'll get him up in about an hour.
Right.
And everybody's like, man, we could just put out on him. I said, well, he's already running. He knows he knows there's truck and dogs and stuff here. We put out on him. He's already on high alert. Not just that scent has not had any time to lay. They're gonna have to they're gonna sight run him a lot. And where we're hunting at, you can't really sight run. And now we did this in Georgia a couple weekends ago, and we put out on them as we seen them, and it was a little more open woods, more fields. Man, they burnt that ass up. I mean, they put it on him. Mm-hmm. But like where we're at, it's totally different. And like Nate was talking about having all that clay and different soil types and a lot of rock. Man, the scent conditions go to hell real quick.
And sand is not a nice thing. It don't hold nothing.
But but it's weird though, because like we give him about an hour, and you got a kind of a sweet spot there. You'll have about, if you give him 30 minutes to an hour, you go put back out on him or go put out on him. You got about an hour you can run him real good.
And see, you know, and that's like, you know, that's different with hogs than it is, you know, running deer or rabbits. You know, that hog's a lot smarter than them rabbits and deer are.
Yes, sir.
That's going to be a little bit of a tougher game to play right there.
Yeah.
You see that deer right there? He already, you know, the deer sees you, he knows you're there, but you can dump them hounds on that deer right then.
Yes.
That hog, on the other hand, he's smarter. He's a little bit. He's one step ahead.
Yeah. Especially if they're educated at all, man. Them son of guns, they got. Man, they juke and jive through there. It's crazy.
They already know exactly where their little escape route is, that little nook and cranny through the bluff, or like in a lot of the flat land, they know where those other sounders are, and they're finna dump you on some sow and some pigs.
Yes.
Yeah, I got you. So when you Now, have you ever had a hog do anything like a rabbit or deer, like, stop and run back on the track and then try to hop off? Or...
Oh, man.
Go tap the road, run back.
Them old boar hogs, we've had them like they'll double back. And they'll go right to the edge of the road, and they'll run down about 10 yards, go right back in, make another loop, go the opposite way, do the same thing, and then double back right where they came from. They'll run a young dog will get some good education right there. That's something going to go across the road. He'll be looking, trying to smell, and then come back. He'll run it a little bit, and then go back across the road. And I'm sitting there laughing. I'm like, boy, he smoked you. And then we'll get one of the older dogs out and put it on there. And then sometimes they still get smoked too.
When them scent conditions ain't good, stuff like that would, like you said, it will really get you questioning things.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, and that's one good way to figure out what kind of dog you have too.
Oh yeah, you get one that'll stay there and try to work it. You got something to deal with. You got something to work with.
That's exactly right. I was talking to a guy I'm friends with. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of Chris Watson.
I know that name.
He's out west.
I know that name.
And they run cats and stuff like that. But now you imagine the dry heat and air out there, out west, like Arizona and out in them parts, New Mexico. You got to have some dogs, buddy, to run out there.
You ain't joking.
Because you got all that dry, and then you got the sand and, probably low humidity and stuff like that. I imagine that them guys come from out west and they come over here, they'll probably burn our asses up with them hounds they got.
Well, the funny thing about that is, I was like, man, I know they're just smoking. Those dogs hunt a lot slower. And that's the only thing. And the reason I say that, like me and Will Booth were talking a couple weeks ago.
And water.
We've done it. Yeah, and there's so much water here.
Kind of like the creeks and stuff is kind of like, they're like a young dog
it'll
again.
Mess
they're
them
like,
True. That's true. I didn't even think about that.
Well, when we
sometimes
went to Texas,
the trees, they're just like looking around at them.
When we went to Texas, like that's what we were talking with Case, and that's why we started traveling, because it was like, well, let's just see how our dogs work in other places and see how other dogs work. And we carried our dogs down there, and they did good. The first day, man, was kind of, you could tell like they was kind of out of place a little bit. My running walker did really good. He overheated real quick, and he had never done that before. Well, the next day we put him up, let him rest, blah, blah, blah. We carried him next afternoon. That son going to act like he'd been hunting there for 20 years.
Yeah.
And, it was the craziest thing ever. And then, so I left one of my dogs down there. And like I said, when we first got there, it was kind of weird, Now he's really made a good hand down there. Well, I was talking to the guy that's down there, and they've had a lot of rain here lately. And he told me, he said, man, you ought to see my dogs. He said, when they first time that creek overflowed. I said, what do you mean? He said, they didn't know what to do. They'd never seen running water.
Oh, man.
And when I say it's dry, brother, it is dry. Like
8 to 10 inches of rain annually.
Yeah, that's a year.
Man, wow. Yeah, that's dry.
Yeah, and so like all their little water holes, or most of them are man-made, and they have a well. So you see like this little pond, well, it would have been dried up a long time ago, but they have a well there, and it's got a float system like in the back of a toilet. Once it gets so low, it'll kick on and pump some water in there. That's the only water that them dogs ever seen. Like they've run these dry creek beds and they hunt. Now them son of guns a hunt, like you said, they got a damn nose on them. But when that water come into play, as far as just seeing the water, it messed them up. But
now, so them dogs that have trouble down in them swamps where I hunt my deer dogs.
Yeah, and I personally, from what I've seen, I think they can acclimate to it.
Yeah,
you get
over time.
Some of our dogs struggle in the swamps because we have a lot of just timber and briar patches and stuff like that, and
hills and stuff.
And it's like we have creeks and running water, but we don't really have any swampy areas. where it's just like continuous swamp and mud and muck. And so a lot of times,
used to running on that water.
Yeah. So a lot of times, like the dogs aren't necessarily skittish of it, but they don't quite know how to read a track on it. Like they kind of,
I got you.
Confused. They'll lose it. Or they might have to go back and backtrack it, pick it back up.
Well, they did good out there in Georgia. We got a dog named Rick. And he did, like, he stayed out there in that water. He stayed out there and wallered for a while. I was like, he's out there standing on his head. I said, but I know this dog. And I told Will, I said, we'll give him a little while. I said, I think he's going to pick it back up. And I kept listening. Right. You could hear the water out there. And then I started second guess. I was like, he might not pick it back up. I don't know. Well, man, it wasn't just a few minutes later. Here he opened up. He got it back up going. And that son of a gun, they went right to the deeper part of the swamp. And he stayed out there and he stuck with it. Now, there was I didn't see the hog, but you could hear it running through the water. And it was huge. It was big. All right. Well, then you could hear a bunch of other stuff running through the water over here. And the dogs followed the sow and the shoats. I know that's what happened. Well, the big boar hog was slipping around the back. We actually did see him later. I can't be a 1,000,000% sure it's the same hog, but hell, he wasn't 100 yards from right there. 150, right. So it's like he was slipping out the back door. We put out on him and caught him. My Rick dog, him and some other dogs, they finished that race, and they had another one caught. It was a smaller hog. And that was my main concern. I was like, if he just finishes the race, he don't have to be a superstar and all that stuff. Of course, we're going to talk trash back and forth and all that with the guys out there. But man, if we can put that dog down in all these different locations and he can start a track and run it and finish it, that's what I'm looking for as far as consistency on it. And I've really debated on what to breed him to. And I like the whole deal about the way these line dogs do, like you said, the cat dogs.
Yeah.
How cold nosed they are. Man, dude, them things right there. If you could get something like that with the speed of a foxhound or running walker, dude.
Well, see, I've got some plots over here. Well, I mean, they're not full-blooded plots.
You're going to get the world started. You start saying you got some good plots now.
I do now. I do. But I'm going to tell you what. I've got some that have a quarter fox walker in them.
I got you.
And, they got the nose of the tree sock and, the foot, the foot's not quite there because they've been.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it puts more into it.
But see, if you got a block lined off, I mean, you don't need a ton of speed. I mean, if you got standards in the woods.
Yeah. What kind of speed are y'all looking for? As far as consistent, which I know it's going to fluctuate depending on how thick it is and all that. I just didn't know what kind of speed y'all try to look for in your dogs, or do y'all even pay attention to it much?
I don't really. I've got. As long as they can push him and get him out of the thicket.
Yeah.
As long as they ain't so slow that the deer's got time to just stop and meander around, circle around in a big thicket.
Yeah.
Then we're good. I don't want something that's going to stand there and blow a hole in the ground and the deer's got time to sit there and just figure out, how he's going to bail,
Yeah.
I want him to. Yes, sir. I want him to jump in and make him move. My hounds, they fell in a race with some fox walkers, and some of them held right in there with them, and some got 50, 70 yards behind. Yeah. But I've got a couple over there that can stroll and stroll right in there with them.
I've only got that one. I've had several over the years, and he's not that fast. Like he's not, and I think that's why he's more accurate. Like he's so accurate.
Too. I believe in that. I don't want them so fast that
they're blowing by.
they're gonna swing out wide and be 75 yards down from the tracks.
They'll be over there in the middle running two different deer on separate property.
Right. Which I've seen. With some fox walkers, they're so damn fast. I've seen the damn deer come out, make a cut, and they fly by.
Yeah.
They don't make the cut with the deer. Make the turn.
Yeah.
I don't want them that damn fast.
I know exactly what you mean. Well, that's why I was never really interested in them that much because, I'd been around them and I'd seen them overrun. They run past. And some of them would work back, but hell, by the time they done went another 50 yards and then come back, hell, that deer's 150 yards, or hog or whatever you're running. And we just got lucky with this one. He'll take a cut.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back. Mine are fast enough to run a gun with, instead of lining blocks with standards. They're fast enough that I can cast them and let them work and jump and then hop in the truck and try to cut the deer off that way.
Uh-huh.
But we don't hunt that way. We don't do the run and gun. We line the blocks with standards, and I think we talked about this in the last.
Yeah, we talked about that.
When if the dogs get past the standards, I catch them up and I'll dump them right back in the block.
Yeah, that's the old school hunting there, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Knocking them out.
Yeah. So, oh yeah.
Well, you got what other tips or tricks you got for us on here that you can put out there or whatever? Because let's see where we're at on time. We're right at 2 hours.
Right, 2 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
As far as for just the care, the animal care side of it for the health and everything, man, it's just basic stuff like we talked about, or the deworming, the flea and tick prevention, mange mites, and the vinegar in the buckets was a huge game changer.
Yeah.
For me years ago. Like I said, that's just something I figured out on my own. I was like, how the hell, besides using this bleach, what can I do? So I tried it. I went to the house and got some vinegar and poured it in there because I knew vinegar was a deterrent to a degree, and it worked.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we're going to look into. I really can get on board with that.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing, and it might sound ridiculous, but if you like we're down here in the South, it gets hot and it gets humid, and if you've got a dog that's got a thick undercoat, to help that dog cool off, brush all that old hair off of him.
Yeah,
and he'll cool off big time.
Yeah, because it'll hold a lot of hair on them dogs.
Oh yeah, I've got some of those plots that are crossed.
Yeah.
I had a plot hound that was full blooded. She come out of that Curtis Walker blood, and she had a thick undercoat, and blocks of hair would come out of her.
Huh.
And so I got those gloves. Those gloves you can put on and brush them.
Yeah, yeah.
They're black gloves, and they got it's just like a comb built in on the hands and the fingers and the palms.
Uh-huh.
And I sit there and brush all that hair out of them. And I mean, it would come out in globs. And I could tell that, that helped them cool down a lot. And then I'd wet their pads, wet their feet, and wet their neck and their head and ears. That'll keep them cool.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Just little dog stuff for the summer, Oh,
every little bit helps. That's for sure. So I know all our listeners that, especially ones that are learning a lot of this stuff, that'll be very helpful.
Yeah. Just basic stuff like that, man.
Gotcha.
I picked up over the years.
Well, like I said, there's several things there that I think are going to be very, very helpful. Actually, everything that you talked about tonight, can be incorporated, and it's a lot of it is something it's not going to be like outrageously expensive or nothing. It just takes some common sense and some time.
Yeah, a little bit of gumption.
That's right. Get up off your ass and do something.
And you're damn right. And I'll tell you another thing: make sure them nails are trimmed.
Oh yes.
Because that's just like we were talking about. As far as the pads getting worn out real bad.
Yes, sir.
A dog is only as good as his damn feet let him be. And
amen.
If them nails, if their toes start splaying, and their feet start splaying out, it'll make them lame.
Yeah.
And if them nails curl in and curl under, and then the toes and stuff start curling with it, splaying out, that can ruin a dog.
Oh, ain't no doubt.
Ruin a dog.
We have to trim. We got some dogs. We run the nails off of them, and I ain't never seen dogs grow toenails like some. We got 3 or 4 out there that they could win a damn world record.
That young bulldog I have, Jade.
Yes.
I had to cut her toenails 4 to 6 times a year, and I've never had to trim a dog's toenails that much.
No, like this.
But she will get like some cat claws going.
Yeah,
like they will be
crazy.
like look some dragons
like
or something. I don't know.
Out there got them fangs.
Yeah,
she just grows toenails really long.
Well, especially during the summer, like I said, I can't run after April, so their nails they're gonna grow fast. So I have to go in there and trim them all. But even during the season, though, with that, when you got a lot of leaf litter, it's really not going to wear them down a whole bunch.
That's right.
With them, especially you got them dew claws. They ain't going to wear them down at all. You got to. I know a lot of old houndsmen used to remove them dew claws, but I've never done that.
Yeah, I don't ever do it.
Yeah. No, and it's just being sure that they keep them trimmed. Especially with the rabbit dogs, they're up off the ground and they're in. That they got the mesh or the wire floors, and you got to keep them nails trimmed down.
That's right.
It's real important for dogs. A lot of times, and the more you do, during the downtime, the better they're going to do out there.
That's yes, sir. That's a good outlook on it all the way around right there. Just the more you do when you're not doing nothing, or when the dogs aren't doing nothing, the better they'll be.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's it. The healthier they are, the harder the harder they're going to be able to go.
Yes,
sir. It's just, to me, it's just real important. We ask so much of them. The best I can do is make them as comfortable and as healthy as possible. So
that's right. No doubt. Well, Reese, man, we appreciate you jumping back on here with us. And, like I said, the first one we done, we just kind of just talked and got to know each other and all that stuff. And all the listeners got to know you. And now we got to pick your brain on some stuff. And
yes, sir.
And I mean, putting out information like this is super helpful. And like I said, we really appreciate you doing this, because there's a lot of dogmen that they don't want nobody to know. They don't want to help nobody.
Right? Yeah, I know. I ran
hate
into
to
some
say
of
that, but there's some.
Well, it's the truth. I mean, I've had some actually tell me that they don't say this or do much of this or that or anything because they don't want the competition.
Yeah.
To get a leg up.
That's right.
And I don't compete. I hunt. That's what I do.
There you go.
And there's a lot of people just like me, and if I can help them or them help me, then I feel like that's. And to me, and I'm not gonna push y'all too much over time, but the thing about it is the more we do to help each other in our community, it's going to start to shine out further out into society.
Yes, sir.
And the better we do, the better the better we're going to look to the general public. And
that's right.
That's real important to me. I'm real passionate about. Because before social media, we didn't have a whole lot of heat or limelight.
That's right.
We didn't have a lot of heat on us, and we didn't have the limelight. We didn't have a platform. We were kind of a hidden population out there, you know, that not a lot of people knew about or talked about, but we're out here now.
And that's the thing, being out here now, we got to put it out in a positive manner, a positive light.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
There's so many of them out there, Reese, you know as well as I do. They say, I don't give a damn what nobody thinks. Well, man, we got to, because we got to worry about the next generation coming up. We got to worry about our generation too.
Oh, yeah.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And, you know, like I was saying earlier, you know, old habits die hard.
Well, they do.
Some of them old habits are going to have to die.
Yep.
Because it's a different day and age, and we're in the spotlight, and we got to grow with the times and do better. That's just the way it is.
That's exactly right. That's a hard thing for a lot of guys that are my age. You know, they hit that, you know, 45, 50, 55-year-old deal. They're still old school, but there's a lot of new school going on. And do we conform or do we not conform, and blah, blah, blah. So, hey.
Well, and that's the thing. It's harder for us older cats. You know, I'm about 51, and it's harder to grasp, especially, you know, we come from a different generation, different time, where we're not going to let somebody tell us how we're going to do things and push us around.
Yep.
But, you know, for the sake of our traditions and our lifestyle, we're going to have to. Yep. It doesn't mean we got to conform to the point to where we're going to stop doing what we're doing, but we can do better. We got room to grow.
Amen.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that's 100%, brother. I think that's a good message right there.
Yes, sir. That's what it's all about. You know, evolving with the times, and everything's changed, and we got to change with it.
Yep. No doubt. Well,
Yes, sir.
Man, hey, anytime you want to come on to Alabama, come over and hunt with us. Y'all welcome to come on. And
man, I'd love to.
Hey, we got a few spots we could probably turn them old dogs loose and run a deer around here in Alabama. I know quite a few people, and I know where there's a lot of land we can hunt. That's for sure.
Hey, you know what? Set it up. I'm with it. I got some guys I can bring. We can line some blocks up, and
all right, we'll
have a good time, man.
That's what we see. That's what it takes right there. Doing stuff like this, you know, invite your brother to come over here and hunt. Say, come on, man, come hunt, or vice versa. We go see how somebody else does something. Don't pass judgment so quick. Get off your ass, do something. Oh, Chris Lynn says that all the time.
That's right. Get off your ass. That's right. That's it, though. I mean, you know, that's just it.
All right, my man.
That's just it.
Well, we appreciate you, like I said, and as always, you're welcome here, brother.
I appreciate it. Y'all too, man. Y'all come up and get a hunt with us as well.
All right, man. We'll do it.
All right, Nathan, Joey, I appreciate your guys having me on, man. I enjoyed it a lot.
Anytime, brother. Anytime.
Yes, sir. We'll get it set
All right.
All right. We'll see you. Bye.
All righty. See y'all. Bye.
See ya.
All right. There's Mr. Reese. Yeah, he's got a lot of informative videos and stuff he puts out on his social media stuff, so y'all go check him out. He's always going over, you know, dosages and things like that. Very informative. Got some good dogs, even though he's got some plots. You know, he says they're good dogs. We're going to see about it. We're going to check it out. So
he said they got a quarter run walk around them.
Maybe Uncle Pat will be okay with that. We'll try to get Uncle Pat to come down. We'll all go watch him run or something like that. Hey, y'all, everybody out there in the world, I just want to say thank y'all for listening. We really appreciate it. And I mean out there in the world. Like we was talking about a while ago, we had people in Kenya today sitting around a fire listening to us talk with Mr. Raymond Plummer. That's just so humbling to us, and it shows that we're on the right track, and we're trying to keep doing the right things. And keep in mind, like, this is our first time we've ever had a podcast. We're learning as we go. You know, this was all something new to us, and we appreciate y'all giving us the opportunity to do this. And so, for all y'all out there in the world, get up off your ass and come hunt with us is what I'm telling you. Call Nathan and line it up, and we'll go hunt. Or we'll come hunt with y'all. Either one. We ain't scared.
Or just message me. You ain't going to call me. I probably won't answer.
Message him, because he ain't going to answer the phone.
If you text me, I will definitely call you back eventually.
Yeah, but I won't.
Yeah.
I will.
If you Facebook message me, I'm definitely probably going to answer you at least within a day or two.
10-4. All right, everybody. Y'all be good. Till next time, we'll see y'all.
Thank you. Hope you enjoyed that episode. If there's anything or anyone you'd like to hear on the podcast, or if you'd like to come hunt with us, don't hesitate to contact us at dixiedoggers01@gmail.com.